you ready to discover who you came here to be? Welcome to the Human Design and Astro Club podcast. Human Design is a system and a tool that is here to empower you and show you your greatest potential. Come learn with us and discover who you really are. Hi friends, Krystle here. New year and new you, and boy, do we have some new tools for you to help you transform your life into the one you have always dreamed of. We have some new ways for you to connect with us outside of the show. So we have a free guide on tips and tricks to honoring your strategy and authority. We also have a language manual to your true self to help you understand the key terms in human design and how to apply them to reading your human design chart and also to your life. And we are so happy to announce doors are now open for the Cosmic Community, which is a no commitment or 5-month commitment package to connecting with us over in our private Facebook group. You will have the chance to connect with Leah and myself each month with our premium episodes through our Program Plus monthly forecast. There's also weekly aura energy updates, weekly tarot card pulls connected to a human design gate, monthly market shares for fellow entrepreneurs to share their work, and exclusive bonus content you will not be getting anywhere else from us. Come join the Cosmic Community to understand how to utilize the transits to your advantage and have a safe space to learn, grow, and connect. And we also have our children's class called Nurture Your Child Through Their Design. And our most popular classes are our variable mini classes, which are bite-sized, self-paced audios and guidebooks on the first 2 transformations. And if you want to stay connected with some education and love from us, join our email list and check out our website, which you can find that and every offer I just discussed down below in the show notes. Thank you so much for being here, and I will see you over on our next episode. Welcome to the Human Design and Astro Club podcast. I'm Krystle, and it's technically just me, but I do have a special guest. Leah's not here to join us because we have something very important to tell you. I have fellow generator Maureen Webb. Now you can say hi.
Hello.
Maureen is a 2/4 sacral generator, Aries sun.
Capricorn moon and Leo rising.
There we go. I was like, you know what I realized? My son, my manifestor, he is also Leo rising in Capricorn moon.
Clearly he's amazing. Obviously.
I feel like that is an interesting combo because, Leo is here to be the leader, and so is Capricorn because it's a cardinal sign.
So is Aries.
But it's in 2 different ways. And Capricorns, in wherever capacity you have it in, super fucking hard on yourself. So having it in your moon, you guys are the most critical on yourself, Capricorn moons. I've never met a Capricorn moon that wasn't super self-critical.
Yeah, and it's in my 6th house. So I'm just here's some more fuel for that fire. Just go ahead. Just keep going.
That's so funny.
Yeah.
So we're not here to talk about astrology today, but I just thought that was funny and I wanted to mention that. So this episode, if you've seen the title, we are here to talk about magic. Okay? We are talking about magic. You'll find out throughout the episode where we're leading to. Some of you might already know, but we've gotten some questions on an upcoming workshop on rituals, abundance, candle magic, crystal grids, human design body graph grids. We're going balls to the wall, all out, a 3-part workshop. Okay. Now, some people have inquired they've been inquired in questions around this workshop and like what it pertains to. And then like, is this a good fit for me? That we thought, you know what? We're going to answer these questions in a podcast and also talk about magic, because I don't think magic gets enough spotlight. Like it just like, and I think it's confusing for people because we've been conditioned to stop believing in magic at a very young age. I was at my son's basketball game a couple weeks ago, and I saw this younger girl that was probably like in middle school, maybe maybe a little younger, and she was wearing those what's Maleficent?
Yeah.
Maleficent horns. I was just like, an adult would never fucking do that. And I mean, I guess there are people out there that just, yeah, let me take that back, that just don't care. And that do believe in magic and that they are magical beings, because we literally are magic in human form and we've forgotten. Like we've been conditioned to stop believing in this stuff. And I honestly have never stopped believing, but there have been periods of time in my life where I've stopped allowing for magic to be a part of my life. And we want to bring the magic back into your lives because we are fully tapped in. We are fully tapped in. What would you like to say about this, Maureen? And also, I'd love to ask you the question that we've talked about a few times. What does magic mean to you?
In a nutshell, magic to me is life. It is the spark of creation. It is honoring and venerating our ancestors and living a life that I desire and I've always dreamed of. I've been practicing. I am a student of candle magic since I was 16, and I'm going to be 44 next month. It is such a beautiful way to not only honor myself, but my ancestors and to honor nature. To me, it is the ultimate gift I can give to myself and to the world.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
That last line, that's very powerful. And I there is something with magic and working with nature and the seasons and the cycles. That's something that I really started to be more mindful of and in intention setting this probably like last year. I was like, okay, we're going balls to the wall. I'm always like, this is it. I mean, I have gate 15, the gate of extremes. I'm like, okay, we're going all the way to the other end. We forgot magic. Now we're doing all the magic.
Yeah. I mean, I have gate 5, so I get it.
Yeah, we both have gate 5. I have the full 515 channel, and I believe that's where a lot of this stems from. And I think that's why for you have such a deep connection to it, like consistently with being a sacral generator and then having gate 5. And we're calling all gate 5s right now. All gate 5s or 515ers. You should come to this workshop. It will change your life. Anyone that has gate 5 in their design needs to be doing rituals. I mean, I can't stress that enough. Like we have our cosmic community, Leah and I, and you're in our cosmic community. A lot of those people have gate 5.
Right?
Not a coincidence.
Mm-hmm.
It's because we innately know that this is a huge part of our process. And you can have gate 5 in any of us. It's gate 5 can go for any of the designs. It's not, the 515 channel is a sacral channel, but I mean, we have projectors in our group, we have reflectors, we have manifestors, and a lot of them have gate 5, and that's not a coincidence. And that's because it is when you can align to your routines and rituals that you can allow your natural rhythm and cadence to flow with the universe. Like it goes deep. Like I don't think people know how deep this gate goes. And I feel like because I have this channel and because it's in gate 15 is in my incarnation cross because I'm a vessel of love, that it's like, I have to do this. The moment that I said I have to start doing this more consistently, it literally transformed my life. Now, I've been doing rituals since I was like a little girl. I remember when I was like 12, I would gather all my, because I'm a kitchens environment also. This is all, like calling all kitchens environment. Okay. Like we also have a lot of kitchens people in the cosmic community too. And that's also not a coincidence. So calling all kitchens people, when I was a little girl, I would gather all my friends into this like little circle. I would put a little candle in the middle. And so it's all just intuitive. I bought like a love spell book, of course, because I was trying to get the boys in my class to notice my open throat. So all this stuff runs deep for me. So we would light this little candle and then I would lead the group. And we would do these little spells together, and it would just, there's something that happens. Especially I feel like for someone that has gate 5, that when you do these rituals, that it like lights up your being. Like whenever we do, because we do our little rituals in the cosmic community during the moon circles, and every single time that I do them with you, and then I do my whole version after that myself, I can't go to bed. Like I'm just like, I'm ready. I'm like, why am I doing these things at night? Um, because it literally creates magnetism in your body. Like you become more magnetic. So I kind of wanted to talk to you before we dive into the workshop portion. I wanted to talk to you about certain rituals that you've done and that you do that you feel are super important, and how they have, and like things that have, because everybody needs confirmation, right? Like we need to hear like what was the outcome of that. So do you have any stories for us? Come on, innocence. Do you have any stories for us on this, on how this has happened for you in the past?
How much time do you have? Because I have lots of stories.
What's your favorite?
Okay, so one of my favorite stories about candle magic is literally how it started. Just like you, my first exposure to candle magic, to magic in general, was love. It was love. I was 16 and I really, really wanted a boyfriend. And I had been kind of dabbling in chakras and in astrology. Like I had loved astrology. I'm gonna do chakra stuff and envisioning and all the things. And I was like, candles? Oh, I can light something on fire? Yes.
Aries.
Very Aries. Very Aries. And I looked up in the actual phone book, like back in the day, we had real phone books, the yellow pages. And I found a shop that had, all the witchy things. So I got on the bus, I went there and I found a candle for love. And I was like, that's what I want. So I paid for it, went back home. I read the little instructions. It was a pink and blue candle. And you had to write on the candle what you desired. And I desired love. I wanted true love. So that's what I wrote on the candle. I lit it and I would just literally spend like a half an hour a day thinking about it. And the day after that candle burned down, like to the end, it was done, I met my first boyfriend.
Oh, wow. That gave me chills.
And I was with him for like a year and a half.
Oh, that's
a
long time.
That was my first. That was my love. That was my first love. And I mean, I really feel deep into my soul that this candle magic really did help that along. And ever since then, I have been hooked. I don't even want to tell you how many candles I have burned, how much money I have spent on. I used to go to the place in Chicago where I would buy candles in sets of 12, a dozen candles. And they're not just the tiny ones, they're the 7-day ones, like the big ones.
The big mamas.
12 at a time. 12 at a time. I was not fucking around. And that's every month and a half, 2 months, I was going in and buying 12 candles. It just, to me, it's home.
Mm.
It's proof to me that we are magic. Everything, this whole world is magic.
I know.
It really is. And to me, it's the physical proof to me that magic exists.
Yeah, that's so beautiful. That was so innocence too. I really loved all of that. Um, I I've experimented with magic in so many different ways at this point, like, and just seeing, like, I literally, like, we both have stories of our accidents where I got hit by a car on my bike, you got into your car accident.
Mhm.
And I feel like that kind of showed me how magical we actually are and how much time, like, all of this is not actually real. And you can actually tap in to the essence of the energy that's working second by second. And if you just understood that there are underworkings that we can't actually visually see. I saw them when I got hit by a car. I literally saw time stop. Like everything, it was like the fucking Matrix. I'll never be able to put it into real words. Like it, because how do you explain?
Oh yeah,
How do you,
no, I had
how
the
do you
exact
explain that?
same. I had the exact same thing with my car accident. Like as I swerved to avoid getting T-boned, I hit a tree.
Mm-hmm.
And like you said, you can't explain it, but like time went so slow. And I distinctly remember as I'm hitting this tree, time is slowing. And I'm like, oh, this is interesting. And like, it
Yeah.
was like a gentle bop on the wheel, but there was no way it was a gentle bop.
Yeah. Yeah.
Absolutely no way. Like, it had to have happened in an
Oh, wait, you just
instant,
froze.
but literally not forever. It was just like, oh, okay. And I walked away from that with just a knee injury when I literally probably should have had much more catastrophic injuries. Like I totaled my car on an evergreen. And
Wow.
all I had was, well, I shouldn't say all I had, but it was a knee injury.
Yeah. You didn't die.
I could, like potentially, but
Yeah.
it was like literally right in the center of the tree. Like my car was perfect, but yeah, it's, yeah.
It's crazy. Like for me, time stopped when I was flying through the air.
Mm-hmm.
Like literally, y'all guys will have to go. If you never heard the episode of me talking about environment, I'll have to find it. And maybe Leah, if you can link that down below for everybody. Because I don't remember the episode number, but I talked about this in there and I don't know how much detail I went into about this part, but it was when I was flying through the air. It's like I was frozen. I don't know how I was frozen in time. And I remember I started praying because I was not wearing a helmet. I'm also not religious, by the way. So it's just like in a time of desperate need, you start praying to whoever's listening. I don't care who it is, whoever hears me right now. And I just said, whatever happens, please don't let me hit my head. Cause I knew for whatever reason, like I feel like it was a splenic knowing that if I hit my head, I would probably die. So I just said, please don't let me hit my head. And I was praying. And it was when I finally like hit the car and rolled off into the street. That's when time sped up again and we were back in normal time. But as I was in the air, like I felt like I was there forever, but
Yeah.
like just time stopped and like I could see that, oh shit, this actually is not real. And I feel like when you have moments of like those spiritual awakenings and like also an out, because I feel like that could have been an out, like there's exit
100%.
points.
Mm-hmm.
um but that's when you have to realize how magical we actually are,
Yeah.
is situations like that. And it was shortly after that, it was about a year or so, that is when I found Kabbalah accidentally as well, and started realizing, oh, there's so much more, like there's just so much more actually happening and that we could actually tap into, that our minds cannot conceptualize. And I know that's why it's probably hard for a lot of you that are listening to this right now. We're talking about magic and you're like, how do you hold you, because you can't hold magic. It's not tangible. Like you can't physically hold it. And it's like a process that like it's you co-creating with the universe. And that's one thing that I started doing a year ago was with the crystal grids and saying, okay, there's something to this. And I had a flashback as you were talking. It's so weird. I had this flashback of a few years back. I had talked to this psychic. We did a couple calls together, and she said to me, "You're going to do something with crystals." And this was when
And then you met me.
it was before I quit hair and makeup. I was like, how am I going to do anything with crystals? I do hair and makeup. I'm like, am I going to make some sort of hair thing that involves crystals? I was like, what are you talking about? And now we're sitting here and I'm like, that's literally what I do now. And like, it's getting bigger because like, this is just the beginning. Like I've already had a workshop where I did on this before that Maureen actually came to, and that's why we're doing this now. But it's just so interesting that you never know where you're going to end up.
I 100% agree with that. And I believe, like, when we were talking about the accidents, like, it was no accident. Like, I don't even call it my accident. I call it my on purpose, because I have literally stepped into my purpose of being who I am because I hit a tree.
Yeah.
You know, I in my previous life, you know, I was a police officer.
Oh yeah, please tell everybody what you were before this.
Okay. I know. So for 16 years I was a Chicago police officer. After my on purpose, I was laid up and had the realization that this is no longer the way I want to serve people and be of service for people. And I made the decision, my body made the decision that we were done in Chicago and we were moving to Sedona.
Yeah.
And this is actually like a really wonderful segue actually into like how I used candle magic and crystal grids to sell my house in less than 30 days and call in the perfect person to buy my house.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. So the house that I had in Chicago was literally right next to railroad tracks. It never bothered me. Like, I'm just,
your valleys.
yeah,
You gotta be
okay,
near,
whatever.
you gotta be near the communication, the movement.
Yeah.
A lot of valleys people live near highways, stuff where nobody wants to fucking live. That's where the valleys people live.
Yeah. And even though I lived in an excellent neighborhood, that was even my realtor was like, this might be a little bit of a hard sell. You're right next to the railroad tracks. I was like, it'll be fine. Candle magic, crystal goods. I set the intention. I did some things that I will talk about in our workshop. And literally less than 30 days, I had the perfect offer for my house. And we actually closed in less time than I anticipated. Like, she wanted to close like super fast. So that's what we did. And then before I knew it, like, I found the perfect place to live in Sedona.
You did.
I live like Sedona proper. I found this gorgeous house to rent. It has 3 bedrooms, 2 bathrooms. It has a backyard for my dogs. I am just not in the thick of it, but far enough away where I'm like, okay, I can have some space, but I'm super close to everything. And I found it for a price that when I tell people, they're like, there's no fucking way you did that.
Yeah.
I'm like, yeah. I'm telling you, crystal grids, candle magic, the meditations, the things I did. I truly believe that I would not have been able to find this place and to sell my house if it wasn't for the rituals that I have done to get myself there, to get myself here. Like, I get to open my door and see red rocks. Like, to me, and like, I have been, when people ask me, Maureen, how are you doing? I've always, for years and years and years, I said, I'm living the dream. And people will laugh at me. They're like, ha ha ha, it must be a nightmare. No. Now I feel like it was just me calling in my dream life, because now I literally am living my dream. and I just, it's beautiful, and it almost like makes me want to cry.
You can
So
cry.
it's just,
I mean, it's a
it's a
heavy week.
beautiful thing. It's a beautiful thing. So,
It is. So in 2017, when we had that big eclipse that in the United States we were actually able to visually see,
yeah.
was right around the time um that I had found human design.
Mhm.
And I had been in my experiment for a short period of time at that point. And we were invited by my in-laws to come to North Carolina. And I believe it was my manifester that got us here because he is mountains and he's a manifester and he's a Cancer. And my in-laws wanted to be able to spend time with him and like do a whole family thing. So it
Uh-huh.
was him that brought us here 100%. And we rented a house in Maggie Valley at the top of this huge mountain that you could overlook and see everything. And so we had our glasses, those special glasses that you had to put
Aw.
on. And
Yeah.
we had this huge balcony that we can go and see everything. So it was the moment that had happened. We stepped outside, we put our glasses on, and everything went dark. It was like the middle of the day. Everything went dark. All of a sudden, all the animals that were, because we were in nature, all the animals started screaming. And I could look up and see the eclipse, and that was the moment that I stepped into this portal. And it was shortly after that that we took a trip to Asheville. That was probably, I think it's about 30-40 minute drive from where we were at that time.
Mhm.
And the moment that I stepped in to Asheville, I took a deep inhale in. I'm smell cognition. I go, oh my God. I'm like, this is where I'm supposed to be. But at that time, life was very different
Yeah.
pre-pandemic. And I had no idea how I could ever live a life like that because I had my hair and makeup business. My husband had his company that he was working for in person. And like we had our family down there. Like we just like, there's no way that we're gonna ever move here. And then I kept, as a generator, and this is where I feel like you have to using your design
Mhm.
mixed with the magic and then
Yep.
also incorporate the transits. If you could
Mhm.
do those three things, you will be gold. You will be fucking gold. Because that's what I'm about to tell you with this story is that. So then I started getting as a sacral generator, we are here to respond to our environment. If more people understood this, we could heal a lot of the generator frustration that's out there because we
Yep.
like to our favorite pastime is to initiate. Um, it is literally like our favorite thing to do and
Oh my
also
gosh.
our deepest enemy. Um,
Right. It's like that.
does
It's like
not work out.
that office meme where he's like, I am ready to get hurt again.
Yes, that's us.
Like, I am going to do this and I'm ready to get hurt again.
Yes. So it's like our favorite thing is to initiate. But if we could just stop for a second and allow ourselves to marinate in our desires, let the mind might show us things that like, oh, that could be cool. And then we're like, we're going to go do it. No, stop doing that, generators. I mean, do it if you must. You'll find out. You're ready to get hurt again. Go ahead, do it. Don't listen to me. But in 6 years now being in my experiment, I've learned a few things that have worked for me and that I've also helped other generators with as well. So it's like not just me. It's happening for other people too. But so I started getting what I like to call cosmic breadcrumbs.
Mm-hmm.
It's the desire was lit the moment that I stepped into Asheville, right? But my mind's like, you'll never fucking get there, okay? And I was just like, okay. And so then we went to another city that was close by called Hendersonville.
Mm-hmm.
And I stepped into a coffee shop and I saw my future. And in I got told by my guides, because I'm always in communication with them in spirit and my higher self, they're all fucking talking to me 24/7. And I'm like, shut the fuck up. Okay. They're like, tell me when I write shit down. Okay. Stop telling me things. At times I can't do this. But so I remember the moment I stepped into that coffee shop, they showed me my future, that I was going to live here and like all the stuff that was going to happen. I was going to raise my kids with these big trees that we do not have in Florida, because that's where I'm from. And I just like, okay. I kept going, okay, cool. That looks fun. That looks like fun. That looks like a fun time. So I let it all go after that. We have to surrender to our desires as generators. We are receptive. Okay. It's a very yin energy with us. We cannot just make shit happen. It has to be through response. So I just thought, okay, that sounds like fun. Thank you for showing me all these fun little things that are probably not going to happen. My mind told me. And so I went on with my life. And then casually, I would get shown more stuff throughout this period of time between 2017 and 2020. I was shown a few other things. And so 2020 happens. And I had been in my experiment for, at that point, like solid for like a good, like 3 years of like, we're gonna try something new here. And so then the pandemic happened. I knew about 2027. I go, fuck, this is it. We're in it. We've officially entered in to the shattering phase. And then I was on a run. I'll never forget this day. I was on a run doing some heavy breathing with my smell cognition. All of a sudden, my spleen and my sacral united. And the spleen said, remember all those things we've been showing you all these years? Sacral's like, it's time. And I was like, what do you mean it's fucking time? They're like, you're going to go home right now. You're going to tell your husband that you're moving to North Carolina. That you're moving to North Carolina. You got to put your house up for sale. You're going to have to find somewhere to move to, and just tell him that's what's happening. So I ran home. Never forget this. Also, telling second lines anything, you guys, it's always this at the beginning. Like, there's always a little hesitation with this, especially second line bodies. You can see the resistance, the clenching that happens mentally. Probably for second line minds, you're probably like, what's going on up here? But I remember he was like, he did one of these, and he's like, there's no way that we can do that, because he's also a generator.
Yeah.
We don't believe that things can just happen, right? But this had been working out for years at this point, but it sounded very random because of that. I'm like, now's the time, Dave. And so I said to him, hold on, before you tell me definitely no, I was like, I want to tell you what's about to happen, and then you can decide from there. I said, in 1 week, you're going to go remote with your company. And in that week, we're going to have a window of opportunity to find a realtor, put our house up for sale, and then we're going to move. I said, how about you wait till this next week? And if you go remote, then we can have a conversation. So he agreed, because he thought it wasn't going to happen. He's like, okay.
Yeah.
I said, okay. 1 week, he goes remote. I said, now can we talk? And he said, okay. Now he was like, he knows I'm a witch. He just knows. He's accepted it at this point. He thinks I'm nuts, but he also knows that it's real. So I go, okay, I have a realtor, my mom, who's a 2/4, emotional manifesting generator. She's like, talk to this lady. She'll hook you up. She'll get you your house sold in a short period of time. And so I talked to her. We did a walk, because everything at this point was shut down. Like, nobody was going into people's houses really, even everything we were trying to do. And this was that, people you did this during this time. I was like, yes, I did. So we did a walkthrough tour with her. And then she's like, and we thought we were going to have to do a bunch of stuff with the house. She's like, oh no, you just need to do this, 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 and this, and then you're good. And I was like, oh, okay. And so then it started looking more real. And we're
Yeah.
like, okay. So we put our house up for sale. I took Milo, my manifester. I was like, you know what? I think there's something of where we can borrow other people's energy. And because I have such a deep relationship with my own son, I asked, and also you have to ask though. I think it's
Yeah.
important to ask. And I said to him, can I borrow your throat? And at the time he was 4. And or was he almost, or no, I think he had turned 5 at that point. So, but still little. And I was like, mommy wants to do a little circle with some crystals. I got some crystals. And I'm like, we're gonna do a little like we did a body graph grid on each other together, and we held hands, and I pulled certain crystals. I don't remember because I never thought I was gonna actually share this or ever think that, like I'm like, I don't remember every single detail. But so I gathered the crystals. I remember putting something on my throat and then holding his hand, and I would tell him, repeat after me. And we did a whole little ritual together.
Yeah.
We sold the house the next day.
Yeah.
Okay. We sold our house in one fucking day. We got way more than we thought we were going to get. We probably could have waited and gotten even more because, that was when like shit was like crazy.
Mm-hmm.
But I had this feeling. And I was also watching the transits during that time. So I was working with this is where I say, like, you have to be in this symbiotic relationship with you and the cosmos. Okay.
Yeah.
And so I was using the transits to go through the process of how we're going to get from Florida to North Carolina, and then using my rituals, my crystals. And so there was a couple little bumps, and every single time I would take Milo again and we would do our little thing, because then we had this other thing where we had to get the siding on our house redone, and then it was supposed to rain that day, and he told me he wasn't going to be able to do it, and I talked him into doing it somehow with my 1034, and then I used Milo to stop the rain. Like literally it started downpouring, just torrential. It wasn't even like, oh, there's going to be like a light sprinkle today. It was like torrential rains. And so I literally used the crystals and Milo's voice in seconds. As soon as he said for the rain to stop, after that, it stopped.
Yeah.
And then we were able to then relocate to an apartment. And then I did the same exact fucking thing to get this fucking house that I'm sitting in right now. And when I tell you that this is my dream house, and I had a list of things that I required a creek in the back of my house, which my husband's like, you're not going to get a fucking creek. Do you know how much it's going to be to get a house on a creek? And you want a 6-bedroom fucking house and like 3,000 something square feet. You're not getting any of that. I said, yes, I am, Dave. Get your little negative Virgo energy out of here. Okay. Take that critical energy. You take it right out of here. And so you want to know, my realtor was an ego manifester. And so she helped me manifest that. I used her after that. And luckily she allowed me to get her. I was like, can I have your birth information? I'm always getting people.
I think I'm going to create a t-shirt with like saying like, let's normalize giving me your birthday.
Yeah.
I just want your information. That's all I want.
That's all I want. I'm not going to do anything with it after that, other than know who you are. That's all I want it for. So luckily she was open to all of that with me. And yeah, we ended up getting our dream house for under our budget. And then I was able to redo our kitchen.
That's awesome.
So, and that was all through fucking magic. Hi, friends. Okay, I know you've already heard me come on here once before, but I have a very important message for you. Are you an entrepreneur, a fellow weirdo, looking to reach an audience on an offer, a program, a reading, a product that you're looking to sell? We have the channel of the entrepreneur, and we're looking to create very specific commercials for other entrepreneurs such as ourselves. If you're looking to get your voice out there, we have over 15,000 plays on this podcast, plus a YouTube channel, and we can create a very specific commercial for you to reach our audience and your message. Go down below in our description and fill out the form because there's an introductory offer waiting for you. See you over on the rest of this episode. So we're not fucking around. Like, if you're on YouTube right now, you look at my crazy eyes. Okay. My husband tells me when I get real serious, I go like this. And it's true. Like, I'm really serious. I'm dead serious right now when I say to you that all of your dreams are possible. They're possible. 100%. And so after that, I then decided, you know what might be more fun than just using just like crystal grids and crystals and the transits and my design and blah, blah, blah. I was like, what if we take it to the next fucking level? It's like, let's step it up a notch. I was like, what if we could use our body graph and make a grid out of that and activate that grid with our intentions, and also at the same time being able to clear our open and undefined centers so we can keep the harmony between the flow of the frequencies running through us to activate our definition, to then co-create on a deeper level and maybe even sometimes speed things up a little bit. And so then I found another generator that's touch cognition. And I had gotten a crystal grid from her. And that was something that I had started experimenting with her crystal grid, because she has very specific, again, we are here to show you the fucking steps. Okay. And so she has very specific steps in which she creates like a whole energy within these grids. Mm-hmm. And so I was like, can you do that with a body graph? She's like, yeah, just show me the image. I'll draw it out. And so she hand carved my grid my body graph into a grid. Mm-hmm. And so then I started experimenting with that, and I started activating that grid during the moon cycles. I'm a reflector body, and I feel like for me, and I mean it for anybody really, but like I felt like called to have that specific process, I guess. And so I started activating them during the new moons and full moons, and I did it for about a few months, and then things started happening, and I started getting more clients. I started getting like a lot of other things I was calling, those started coming too, and I was like, oh, I was like, this actually works in a bigger way. I was like, shit. And so then I started trying out like different configurations. Mm-hmm. And then I created our work. We ended up doing a workshop together, me and that other generator. And so then a bunch of you got the grids, and then you guys started experimenting with them. And like even Leah, my co-host for the podcast, also got a grid. And so she's been experimenting with her grid, and like things are happening. And so when Maureen came to me and said, hey, I really liked your workshop. I do candle magic. Would you ever want to do a workshop with your grids and candle magic? Mm-hmm. Candle magic. I was like, I've only dabbled in that. I was like, wow. I was like, that could really, then I was like, that could really step things up in a bigger way. I'm like, cause like we're generators, so we're here for mastery. So it has to be in steps. Right. So I was like, are you telling me that there's another step that I could add to my rituals that could take this to the next level? And so then we've been working with that. And then I decided to try my experiment for this last moon cycle of creating a whole other spell in relation to that. And then like I got 3 new big opportunities. It's like literally the next day, I was like, this kind of stuff does not happen to me. Like it just,
But it does. And it
but,
is.
but it is happening. Like
But it is happening to you.
it's crazy. It's really, the mind keeps saying this isn't real. And the mind will do that. That's why we wanted to come on here and talk to you guys today, because you probably saw our workshop, or at least some of you saw our workshop and you're like, that's not fucking real. That's not real. And we're here to tell you that it is. It is real. A very long time ago, we've all forgotten how magical we are. And I think this is your reminder for this workshop, how to tap back into that. That's what this workshop is going to be about. Tapping back into the magic that's been inside of you this entire fucking time. And so we're super excited for the people that have already signed up, but the doors are closing soon. So we wanted to give you guys a little bit more information on the workshop. And because we had a couple people reach out inquiring about, like, somebody reached out to you and said, can you tell everybody what they asked you?
So they were just a little bit concerned, just based on religion, if candle magic, if we are somehow going to be summoning any sort of evil spirits, which I understand is a completely valid question.
Yeah, it's a great question, actually.
And it's like, I'm a 2/4, like what, okay, I just do what I do. But it's a really great question because so many people have this religious conditioning. You say magic, you say witch, and people like freak the fuck out. But we've been conditioned our whole entire life to think magic is bad and magic is evil, and oh my God, candles, and oh my God, witches. In actuality, and what I explained to this woman is, for me, I co-create with candle magic. I co-create with the universe, with nature, with my higher self, with God. I create in the space of love.
Oh yeah, that was what I was about to say. I was like, as long as you're in the space of love.
When you're in the space of love, that's what you create with. God is love. However you see or say, you can say the universe is love, God is love, however it resonates in your heart. But when you come from that place in your heart and you want to co-create with it, you are not going anywhere near those kinds of things. There are people that do that. Absolutely. I'm not about that life. Not about that life. I come from love. I work from love. I am love. God is love. Therefore, when I am co-creating through my candle magic, through my rituals, through my crystal grids, through my meditations, through my petitions, I am co-creating through love. There is nothing to be scared of. It is a beautiful, beautiful way to co-create with the universe and honor your ancestors and honor yourself and honor your wants and your desires and your want and need for love. This is a beautiful thing that you are doing, not only for yourself, but the people in your environment around you, because we're doing it in love. That is the key.
Yeah. And, it's like, we get it. Like, again, there's a lot of like dark entities out there and a lot of people work with them. I don't touch that shit. And anytime I do feel like a dark spirit or entity or something that comes into my space, I ask them to leave. Like I don't go there with any of that. I'm a vessel of love. I know that, there are probably vessel of loves that go to the darkness on the other side. I am not one of them. I just like that feels very fear-based to me.
Yeah.
And I do not reside in that space. So to answer that question, if anybody had that, I thought maybe we should talk about that briefly. And then also somebody else asked, like, can you break down a little bit more on what this workshop is going to be about and like, who is this really geared towards? And so we have three different classes that we're going to be doing. It's April, March 25th is when we start, right?
Yes.
That's the first class, 2 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. All classes will be 2 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Figure out where that is for you. They will also all be recorded.
Mm-hmm.
So if you can't come to any or some of them, you'll still get the recording. You'll be able to do it on your own.
Yep.
And so the way the classes are going to go, the first class is going to be kind of like an introduction to everything, introduction to candle magic, what that's all about from Maureen's side, and then an introduction to grids, between crystal grids, the human design grid, and also we're going to talk a little bit more deeper about Kabbalah, because the human design body graph is the Kabbalah tree of life. So we're going to be talking about that and give you a little bit more context that you will not get anywhere else on this information. And we're going to go even deeper. Like if you came to my last workshop where we did touch on Kabbalah, we're going to go a little bit deeper with this one and talk more specifically about the centers, because it's through the centers that you're able to clear and activate, which are clear.
It's not the arrow?
No, we're not talking about the arrows. No, it's not through the manifestation.
It's like,
it's not the manifestation arrow. None of that will be involved in anything we talk about with this. That is not going to be involved. And we're probably not going to so much go through the variables. You can also incorporate that with your, like, it is important for you to know, like, your environment and your view. And so we'll see what happens, if how much time is allotted for us to talk about anything in relation to that. But I do not subscribe to the, I guess I should tell everybody, I do not subscribe to the manifestation arrow.
Because it doesn't exist.
Yeah, it doesn't.
I said the quiet thing out loud. What?
Yeah. So that will not be involved. I just want, I guess I should note that will not be involved. So we'll be going, that'll be the first class. It's an introduction to all of that, a little bit deeper information that you can't get anywhere else on Kabbalah and the Tree of Life, so that you can actually understand the configurations that we're going to talk about in the last class. So first class is an introduction to all of that stuff. And then the second class, we're going to be going in to some deeper workings on candle magic.
Yes.
And then like everything's going to be in steps and stages, basically, where it's like, so if you're at the beginning stage, don't feel like you're like, oh, do I need to be advanced in this? No. If you are advanced, then this is going to be an added support and bonus for you. And especially when it comes to the body graph grids and stuff, like, you have never heard of that, because I literally created that myself. So there's nowhere out there that you're going to get that.
Yeah. And you know what, for me, even me doing candle magic and working with crystal grids and petitions for as long as I have, I always am learning new things.
Yeah.
So even if you are more advanced, intermediate, or advanced, not only is it a good refresher, but you might learn something new, which is totally cool. Like, I love that. I love that. No matter how much you think you know, there's always more to learn. Always.
Yeah. And so in the second class, we're going a little bit deeper in that stuff. And then we're also going to show you how to create an altar, which we're doing an introduction to altars in our free class that's happening this Sunday on the 19th, March 19th. If you're listening to this at 2 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, we are offering a free master class for anyone that wants to attend live. I want to stress that it is only free if you attend live. You will not be able to get the recording for this. The only way you will get the recording for this is if you purchase the workshop. You will automatically get this class included. So if you purchase the workshop now, then you can also get the master class included, and you don't actually have to attend live if you're not able to, or you can do both if you want to. So if you attend live on Sunday, I'm going to go through how to make a nightstand altar. And then Maureen's going to show you how to make one the size of your room. And so that'll be kind of an introduction to where we're going to go with the second class, where we're going to go more in depth on altar preps and a few different things around that. And then a little bit deeper when it comes to candle magic and crystal grids and body graph grids. And then the third class is where we go into hands-on. Okay. It's going to
Yes.
be a hands-on portion of this workshop where we're going to be doing the grids together. And I'm going to show you a few different configurations, and it also depends on your type. I've already had a few people in our cosmic community ask questions about this that I will be answering in the class. Okay. So definitely come to our class. And I loved that one of the members already called out something that I'm already going to be talking about, which is transit grids, like how to make your body, like for geared towards like reflectors specifically that they don't have any activation. Like what could happen if during the transits it's connected to me being a generator, for example, for like a reflector. How is there anything that I can do with that? And the answer is yes. The answer is yes. And you could also, you don't necessarily have to be a reflector. You could do a transit grid any other time. There's so many different grids that you can make. So we're going to talk about like a few different configurations that you can do with that. And then we're going to do a hands-on approach to that. There's going to be a Q&A on the last class as well. And then Maureen's going to talk to you about petitions. And what else are you doing with that last one?
So in the last class, we're going to be hands-on. I'm going to do a little bit of advanced candle working. I'm going to give you guys a couple of different multiple candle spells to do. I'm going to give you almost like a template on how to create your own ritual and own spell, depending on what you are trying to call in or release. Because we don't just use candle magic to bring things to us. We can actually use candle magic to repel or remove things as well. And I'm going to dive into some sigils too, because sigils kind of always like come in and out of my life, but they've been popping up really strongly the past couple weeks. So, I have been a little obsessed, and I'm currently experimenting with my own. One of my 3 altars, I have some candle magic going with some sigils, and we're going to experiment. We're going to see what happens. So yeah, it's going to be super fun. Like I'm so jazzed. Like I love all 3 of these, but when I get to like hands-on show people, like I get to show you the magic. Oh my God, that's where I shine. That's where I shine. I love it all, but when I can actually physically show you the goods, the good, I'm a happy camper.
Yeah. So it's and it's different when you can actually be with the person that's showing you. And then you also get an opportunity to ask questions at the end, which you guys are going to get to do as well. And then we do have, for those of you that are joining us on Sunday for the free masterclass on abundance and altars, we have an opportunity that we'll be sharing with you, and we'll announce that in the class. So if you're listening to this right now and it's not Sunday the 19th, go down to the description down below, and you have 2 options. First option, sign up for the free masterclass. You'll get locked in. You'll hear about our secret gift in the class. 2, just go ahead and just purchase the workshop. Purchase the workshop. You're going to get the masterclass for free, and you're getting 6+ hours of information. That's what this workshop is, 6+ hours of information. Okay. And it's going to be fantastic. I'm super excited for it. You have 2 sacral generators that this is literally our passion. We have gate 5. This is part of just the way we operate. And we're going to show you guys how to do that yourself. So, it's, what is it? $224 for the whole thing?
$225.
$225
for the whole thing.
$225. Sorry, I can never get this number right for some reason. You'd think all the times I've looked at it that I would have it, but I can't memorize.
And also, when you buy the workshop, you're going to get that masterclass for free. Because if you don't go to the masterclass, what we're going to wind up doing is actually charging for it after this. It's going to be $55. So you're getting all of this wisdom between you and I. You're getting over 6 hours. We're both overgivers. So you're going to get way more than that. You're going to get a $55 masterclass. Like, what is there to lose? Like, this is some good shit. Like, I'm jazzed about it. And when I get jazzed about stuff, like, shit happens. Like, it's amazing. And you and I both, when we put our heads together, it's fucking fire. It's fire. It's fire. And it's going to be amazing. And I suggest everybody and their mother, everyone and your mother, sign up for this workshop. You will not regret it. You will learn something new. We will teach you things. Ask questions. I love answering. Give me something. Give us both something to respond to. It's going to be amazing. It's going to blow your mind. You're amazing. We're amazing. Let's all co-create some real good shit together.
Exactly. And so you can head down to the description down below, click on the workshop, click on the masterclass, get it. And we'll see you guys on the 19th and the 25th. And if you have any questions, feel free to DM either of us. I'm Journey Through HD. What are you on?
I am Maureen Webb.
So you can find us, and we'll also drop all that stuff down below too to make it just easy access to both of us. Or you can shoot me an email if you want, however you want to talk to us, but probably DMs will answer you the fastest.
Yeah.
So if you have any questions, don't, and also no, because people are always, I feel like I'm asking you a stupid question.
You're not.
There are no stupid questions unless you're an asshole. Then that's different. I do want to know.
Right? I was like, there are stupid questions, but really,
unless you come at us that we're evil with magic, then that's which we have not gotten. So do not come for us for that.
I don't know. There's a part of me that's like, go ahead. Find out.
No, Maureen, a little bit of a fight. Do you have gate 38?
I do.
You do, right? I thought so.
It's my moon.
I was like, hold on, because I worked with Maureen before. I was like, you have gate 38, don't you? And I'm hearing it right now. You're like, I'll fight you. My little generator has gate 30. Actually, both. I just took that back. Both boys have gate 38. So together we both have the channel of struggle, and they will fight you, especially the generator. The little generator, he will fight you tooth and nail. He's not afraid of anyone, and he's like 2 feet tall. So
yeah, defined head, defined ajna, gate 38. I'll fight you.
Innocence,
and I'll win.
I'm like, I tap out. I'm like, no, thank you.
Absolutely.
So anyways, on that note,
love and light, come to our workshop.
Love and light. Yes. Oh my God. I really, yeah. Anyways, on that note, we hope you guys have a great day.
Yes.
Do not hesitate to DM us. Okay. Just don't. We'll respond. Maureen will be feisty, obviously. But you can DM me. I'll be a little softer.
Spice. I put hot sauce on my hot sauce.
Oh my gosh. I'm going to make that a soundbite. So have a good day, and I'll catch you over on the next one.
Yeah. Have a great day, guys.
Bye.
Thank you so much for listening to this episode. Krystle and I are really here as Defined Hearts to provide value to you with our unique insights. If you have found any of this episode valuable to you, we ask that you share with a friend, tag us with a highlight on Instagram, and write us a review so we can reach more people. Human design and astrology are tools to guide us toward our transformation. You are a unique and beautiful being, and we encourage you to let that light inside of you shine bright. See you in the next episode, friends.